Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom, my brothers and sisters out there. My Tanakh brothers and sisters out there. My Yah only brothers and sisters out there. Yeah, those who only serve the Most High, our Creator, our Sustainer, our Cherisher, our Nurturer, just everything, our all in all, the Most High. Yes, sir, Yah. Like I said, peace to y'all once again, and those of you who tuning in who may not be Tanakh only or may not, say you're Israel. Peace to you as well. We say shalom in the Hebrew language, but peace to you as well. So this message is great for you too. I am Brother Arya Israel, or Mori Arya Israel, for Liberation in the Tabernacle of Yah. Just sitting outside enjoying this beautiful weather out here. The day, what they say, this is the day that Yah has truly made. Yes, sir, indeed. So I'm enjoying this beautiful weather out here, doing a little research and studying. But I'm kind of making this video a little bit here because I've been going back and forth with a brother in YouTube comments not too long ago, but anyway, I'm doing this video to say here, there is no convincing a Christian that the Tanakh is not talking about him. That's what I'm going to call it, just like that. There's no convincing these New Testament believers that the scriptures ain't talking about him. And y'all know who I'm talking about, him. The one they call AKA Jesus, Yahweh Shai, Yeshua, whatever name they want to call. Boy, they are convinced. They are, so they think they are. You cannot, well, you can. Only the Most High gonna be able to do it though. But it seems like to some of them, there's no convincing them, brothers and sisters, that the scriptures, our sacred scriptures, what we call it Tanakh, which they call the Old Testament, that misnomer, it's not talking about him, man. I was given some questions earlier because based off a comment I did, the video I did, brothers and sisters, go check out the comments in the video that I did. Talk about where's the book of Yeshua, where's the book of Yeshua, like that, something like that. And going down and look at the comments that there's somebody we've been going back and forth on, called what was it, Servant Smith. And but anyway, and he asked some question, who is Zechariah? First he asked about Deuteronomy. I'm gonna come back to that. Well, no, he asked about who is Deuteronomy 28, no, excuse me, who is Deuteronomy 18 talking about? Deuteronomy 18 was talking about, y'all know about the prophet, we talk about, I will send you a prophet. That one. Ask that question. I need to pull it out too. I got both of my, well, you can't see here, I got sitting outside, like I said, I got my Jewish study Bible out here by Oxford. Got that edition out, and also got my Stone Tanakh edition out as well, my Tanakh. And so, but he asked about Debunking 18 and 18. But I want to go to something else first, because he talked about that one, and then he also asked, because I'm gonna go to a simple one. He asked. He went to ask me, well, who is Zechariah? What we call Zechariah 12 and 1. Who is that talking about? Then he also said verse 10 as well. Who is that talking about? Zechariah chapter 12 verse 1. And he asked, who is that talking about? And then, I was like, well, I basically like, man, no matter what I say, you're going to say it's wrong. Because if I say it's not talking about Jesus, you're going to say I'm wrong anyway. So, I like I said, really, I was not going to answer because it don't make a difference, because they're going to say you wrong anyway if you're not talking about it's saying it's Jesus or Yeshua. But check this out. Let's go here. Let's get to Zechariah. Let me see, can I turn this around right fast, brothers? All right. Let's see here. Now, this is my Stone edition Tanakh, and he asked the question, who is Zechariah chapter 12 verse 1 is speaking about, right? So I got to look through my phone so I can read it. And it says here, It says the prophecy. Now, how they have Hashem, y'all know they use the word Hashem in this, these Ashkenazi Sephardic editions. It says the prophecies of the word of Yahweh concerning Israel, the word of Yahweh who stretched out the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth, and who fashioned the spirit of man within him. Now they saying, who is that talking about? He asked me, who is that talking about? Now, it should be obvious, shouldn't it? That should be obvious, right? Because it says the prophecy of the word of Yahuwah. The word of Yahuwah stretched out. Who stretched out? See, the word of Yahuwah, who stretched out the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth. Now, why would he ask me? Why would that question be asked? Who is that talking about? Who is this? Who is it talking about? Because you know why he asked that question? Let me stop this for a second. Tell him to flip it around. All right. You know why he asked that question? You know why he asked that question? Because he first, I got to go back. Because remember, and I'm going to go there. But he asked about Deuteronomy 18, about the prophet. Then we went to here. So I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 18 too, though, right? But the reason that he asked that question is because why? As a Christian, why? They teach and say that Jesus was the one who created the heavens and the earth. Have y'all ever heard that before? I know y'all heard that before. Now I've asked some Christians, they pretend that they don't even know that. I ain't never heard that before, brother. I ain't never heard that before. Yes, yeah, okay. I tell them, and I be telling them, well, there's some Christians that teach that. There's some pastors that teach that, right? But anyway, so they do. That's why he asked that question. That's why he asked that question. First of all, I want to know, wait a minute now. We was talking about, you was trying to say that he was the prophet. According to Deuteronomy 18, you was trying to say that the prophet's about him being the prophet in Deuteronomy 18. And then you're talking about over here, who is it talking about? Now, he's the one who laid out stretched out, as this version has, the Stone Tanakh says, who stretched out the heavens and the earth and laid the foundations who stretched out the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth. Now, wait a minute. Now, what prophet did we know did? What prophet do we know that had some pause in creating? Right? Did Moses? Isaiah? And I'm using those names for, for general conversations. Did any one of those prophet, Amos, any one of those do anything like that to, like, we know that, I don't know, they created some stars or something, you know what I mean? They created which one of our prophets of Israel created the Big Dipper? Which one of them created the Big Dipper? Y'all know I'm being sarcastic on this here, right? But I'm telling you, you cannot convince me. They try to take our sacred scriptures, these Christians, even these Messianics, because they Christians too. Yeah, they Christians too. There's no putting no difference in them. They Christians too. They try to pretend they ain't, or they aren't. That's if I use proper English. But come on now. And then it went down to let's go to Zechariah and verse 10. And this is what he was trying to ask. Now, I don't have my King James versions out here, but in the King James version, there's a part that mentioned. Let me read this first. Let me read this. Zechariah, we're still in 12, verse 10. And it says, "And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. They will look towards me because of whom they have stabbed." Now this is the like I said, my Stone Tanakh. It says who they have stabbed. They will mourn over him as one mourneth over an only child, and be embittered over him like the embitterment over a deceased firstborn. Now, he went to that and trying to say, because the King James version has in there, man, I wish I had the King James version out here now, but it was talking about something where it says, the one, like this one says, they will look towards me because of whom they have stabbed. Now the King James Version says because of the one they have pierced. It says something like that, because it has the word pierced in there. And so you know automatic when they see that word pierced, who they think that's talking about. Who they think that's talking about. Because according to Matthew and things like this, he was pierced in his side, and you know, I mean, was that pierced in his hand and in his feet and nailed to the cross. So when they see that, they see that in there, they automatically thinking it's talking about who again. So that's why he was asking me, who was Zechariah chapter both chapter 12 verse 1 and verse 10, who was it talking about? Because he told me, well, you know, it wasn't talking about, well, it couldn't have been talking about the Most High, and it couldn't have been talking about David. He said, can we agree with that? Well, can we agree that it's not talking about who you think it's talking about? It ain't talking about that idol, Yahshua, Yahweh, aka Jesus. I know we said we're not supposed to be saying those names, but it has no power with me. I had to mention sometimes, just for edification purposes and educational purposes, we have to mention that. But that's what they try to bring. He asked this question. That's why I've said again, man. It's gotten to the point. It's probably been that way. There's no convincing them, man. There's no convincing these New Testament believers about what our sacred scriptures, what we call Tanakh, and you can show them everything it is in here about. They think it always talking about that Yahshua, because they have been told this. Now, I would like to, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy right fast to y'all, brothers and sisters. Now, if they read, just say the whole Bible, just say what they call the Old Testament and the New. If they ever read it without anybody ever told them or trying to interpret what this says and what this means, they never, this is the first time they ever read the Bible. They somewhere by themselves, nobody there to interpret it. Would they then read it, the so-called New Testament, and go and refer back to like Deuteronomy 18 and say, see, oh, okay, I see now. Deuteronomy 18 was talking about Jesus being the prophet. No, they wouldn't find that. None of those, nowhere in like Isaiah 7:14, all of that, the virgin. I mean, they wouldn't think they wouldn't see that. They just read the story like, well, I don't just read the story, and none of that will put it in. How a lot of people are getting this now because of people have teachers have been teaching people this, and they've been hearing these things. How people have so-called translated and told them this is what this means, and people just been regurgitating it because just for years, hundreds of years, probably thousands of years, these same lies. Because you've been told this is what this is. Just like, again, we go to Deuteronomy 18 and where we at? 18 and 8. 18 and 18, right? And let's see here. Let's go here. Now we go 18 and 17. And it says, and the Most High, or the Most High Yah, or Yahuwah said to me. No, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, go back down, go down. You're right. I was right at the first time. Come on, I'll get it right. Here we go. And it was 18 and 18 of Deuteronomy. Is I will establish a prophet for them from among their brethren like you, and I will place my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them everything. Let me turn this with y'all, brothers and sisters. Let's see here. Let me go. Y'all see that? Y'all can see it, and I'm gonna try to read it again. It says, I will establish a prophet for them from among their brethren like you, and I will place my words in his mouth. He shall speak to them everything that I commanded him. Verse 19. And it shall be that man who will not hearken to my words, that he shall speak in my name, I will exact from him. I'm trying to read this through the phone, right? So we'll that's what I'm trying to read it through the phone. But the prophet who's willfully speak a word in my name, that which
I command not to speak to him, or who shall speak in the name of the gods of others, that prophet shall die. Wait a minute, hold up. Said that prophet shall die. So wait a minute, whoa, wait a minute, y'all. Now think about this one. They tell us. Now, is he trying to make me think or ask me this question, as a lot of the Christians do? They try to use this, even our Messianic, so-called Israelite Messianic brothers, but they try to use this. See, he was a prophet. See, the Most High said he was going to raise up a prophet from amongst us, right? And they try to say this, just who Jesus was, right? Or Yahweh Shai, whatever, right? But wait a minute. Didn't he die? Didn't he die, though? Is this not what they teach? They said he died. See, he died for our sins. But I know how they say whatever happened. He died for our sin. He had to die for the remission of the sin. But he died, though. He said, that prophet shall die. But what the Most High said? He said, but the prophet who willfully speak a word in my name, because, you know, some parts of them gospels do say, and he said, and you know, and the Father said this, the Father said that, right? That's what he say, right? According to those gospels. It says, and who shall speak in my name of the other gods, of gods of others, that prophet shall die. Why did he die? So hell, if y'all trying to say there was a prophecy about him, well, maybe it was then, because he sure in the world died. He wasn't he wasn't the true prophet, because he didn't. Maybe he spoke some words that wasn't of the Most High. It says that which I have not commanded him to speak. Right? Because we know there's some things in that so-called gospel that was spoken that don't go in line with Tanakh. There's some things in those gospels that don't line up with Tanakh. So if y'all saying it was a prophecy, so maybe he was one of those prophets that the Tanakh wasn't talking about. He wasn't the true prophet. If y'all gonna try to use that, so y'all better stop using that. They actually kills y'all argument. Cause he died, didn't he? Didn't he die? Yes, he did. According to y'all story. Now I don't go with that narrative. I don't go with that gospel. But according to what y'all say, he died and rose on the third day. You know, that's what Christians say. But I ain't trying to make this a long one. I'm just tripping, man. It's just that you Christians, and I'm being serious. Just trying to make fun of y'all or nothing. But you need to understand. You must understand. Now, if you just got your Christianity, your New Testament, and want to believe that, hey, that's on you. You can believe that if you want to. But here's the thing. Y'all see, these are two Tanakhs. There's a Tanakh. There's a Tanakh, which I'll call Old Testament only, right? Both of those, we call it Tanakh, which I'll call Old Testament. You need to get a clear understanding of Israelite, I'm using these terms, of Israelite, true Israelite understanding, whether they really believe in, whether they really subscribe, whether they really subscribe to. What was their teaching really about? What did they really believe about? As even the Jews, I got to throw the Jude part in here. The Jews, the Judaism part that comes in about even believing in this anointed or this messianic age, as they talk about in Judaism. Now you got to go way back to the religion of Judaism now with this rabbinical teaching and stuff. What is the true meaning when they are talking about this messianic age? Because y'all got something totally different than what the Jews themselves. That's why y'all talk about in y'all Gospels, that this so-called New Testament, that the Jews rejected him. You really need to see. You don't know anything about one thing, the traditional, true, ancient Israelite traditions, and you don't know about the later coming of Judaism, to understand what they were talking about this messianic age, because a lot of that does come from the Judaism, the religion of Judaism. So Christians, you have no clue. You have no clue. You have no idea, because you have been giving
a totally different teaching outside of the original understanding of the Israelite tradition. I'm almost make like I got a black eye in it. Oh yeah. Of the Israelite tradition and even Judaism. See, this is what you do some real research. See, because what you're getting, like I said, with these King James version, that's why I said like this one, like even if I go into what was this here? Let me go into this one. Let me go into Zechariah in here. They don't even have anything about no piercing and all of that, even not about stabbing, all of that. And that is the work of that whole work is the work of trying to look at this at the same time, brothers and sisters. That's the work of the King James Bible and those Christian translations. And this is the problem too when we get down to translations. You have a lot of these Christian translations. King James version. That's why you'll see some of them camps always talking about the King James version instead of the King James, because it is a Christian translation. It is a Christian. It is a Christian. What they call it, Protestant. I know they're gonna say they'll tell you that King James was a. They're gonna tell you that King James was a Israelite. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, but anyway, I gotta look up the glossary. That right fast, brother, to find this page in here because I don't know what off top in here. I got different ones, but anyway, so they. Y'all really have to redo some research and understand. You know, you read the Bibles. It's cool. It's cool. You read the Bibles, but you got to go in and do some real research. Do some research. Research on the foundation of Christianity. That's number one. Research on the your foundation of Christianity. How did they come about? How did all these beliefs come about? As people talked about these different councils of the Nicene Creed and all of this type of stuff, it's deeper than that, man. Just go in there and find it. Okay, I got what I'm looking for. Now let's go right here. Let me go. This is the other one y'all remember had the word stab in there when he was talking about verse 10, Zechariah 12 and 10. Now this one would say, it says, but I will fill the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem with the spirit of pity and compassion, and they shall lament to me about those who are slain. Where is the word as the king? Go and look up the King James version and see what it's gonna have, y'all. It's gonna have pierced in it. I know some of y'all have seen it, but it says those who are slain, wailing over them as a favorite son and showing bitter grief as over a firstborn. So despite if it has pierced, stabbed, beat with a baseball bat, whatever, right? This is not talking about Jesus, aka Yeshua, Hawashai, or whatever else y'all name want to use. Regardless, like I said, it said beat, stab, shot with a 12-gauge shotgun. It is not talking about that dude y'all talking about. And it wasn't talking about him. It was not a prophecy. And this is the kicking part. This is the killing part here too, y'all. How it every time you got whole chapters, like verse 18. Y'all got whole chapters. And you just can't pick out one little excerpt. One little excerpt because it fits your narrative. And then forget about everything else the whole chapter is talking about. You can't. You forget everything else, like the whole part about, again, we talk about Isaiah 17 and 14. Y'all pick that out and say that's prophecy about the virgin and stuff like that, which, you know, y'all know that's false. But what about the rest of the part? What about verse? You start at 14. You only grab and copy and paste 14. But what about verses 1 and all of the rest of them? The verses that go with that fit that whole story. What about that? What you do with the rest of the? What you could do with the rest of the chapter? And what it's talking about and its meaning? What you do about that?
What do you do? I mean, what are y'all doing with that part? See, this is why again, y'all have you like it was something right fast, brothers and sisters, that I had a comment, and this ain't to make fun of nobody, y'all. This ain't what I'm doing here, and it's just for edification and education, right? Like they said, this is entertainment purpose only, but this ain't it. This ain't entertainment. This is for educational purposes. And a brother told me, I said, you know, we was commenting on a video, and I said shalom, and I said shalom, and the brother was, he wasn't disrespectful. He was like, brother, you might want to consider. You talk about something about consider that the word shalom is Moloch backwards. I had to pause there for a reason, y'all. Yeah. Consider that the word shalom, that we say mean peace or whatnot, right? Shalom, the greeting, is Moloch backwards. Now, yeah, now hold up, y'all. If you say backwards, just like I remember when I was into the Kemetic, as they say, science or spiritual system, I remember they was talking about Anubis. I remember Dr. York then was talking about Anubis or Anubis, which actually was a jackal. But anyway, they said he was a dog, and they was like, see, the word God is a dog, and it's talking. You see, that's they talk about the god dog Anubis, which is supposed to have been a jackal, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so they was trying to use that. See, dog, that's the word God backwards, and all of this type of stuff, huh? But wait a minute. Okay, I can see if you saying dog and God is backwards. Same letters, nothing changed. Nothing changed, it says backwards, right? Okay, we ride with that one. But shalom and Moloch, you said backwards? That's why I asked. Well, wait a minute, hold up. If it's backwards, if it's the same word backwards, there's no C as he had spelled it. There was no C in shalom. And in Moloch, that was no S. That's the way he spelled it and sent it to me as he commented. There was no S. How is it the same word? If it's the same word spelled backwards, forward, upside down, round and around, and away we go, no words, no letters should have changed if it's backwards. So we went, kind of back and forth on that a little bit comment, right? Then the brother said, well, it's phonically. Yeah, but he was, he wasn't disrespectful. And peace to the, I guess I could, well, I don't know if I could say shalom. Maybe I just said peace to the brother. If you see this video, peace to you, bro. He said, well, he was like I said, he was cool about the situation, but he was like, maybe you just don't understand, you don't maybe understand it, you don't see it. And he said it's phonically. But when you're saying, I'm looking for it, when he's saying it's backwards, I'm looking for it to be, spelt the same way and everything. I'm looking for, okay, well, but phonically, that's what he said. But anyway, y'all, I got on there to just say, man, I tell y'all, bro, it's some doctrine that's out here. It's some doctrines and teachings out here, man. I'm like, whoa, Lord. What they say, y'all, Lord have mercy. I don't even use that word like I use that word, Lord. Say, y'all have mercy. Man, I tell y'all, it's some teachings out here, Jack. It's some teachings out here, Jack. I would say another one that I heard. Yeah, hell, I might as well go on. I'm in it now. Let's go here. Let me pull out my Tanakh. Let me pull out the Tanakh. Let's go to Bottle Sheep. I heard something the other day that really, really disturbed me as well, brothers and sisters. Because we in this era now where we hearing a lot of this. Now I'm not saying this person did this, I'm saying that this person was doing. there's a lot of the crazy. I used to, I was hosting this other show. I still do, but a long time ago, a sister called in, and we was talking about the Most High. She was talking about, well, the Most High, he's not a man, and this, that, and other. He's androgynous. She said the Most High is androgynous, and all of this type of stuff. Now we got a lot of this stuff. Then we had some people in the. I remember in the conscious community talking about God is, God is a woman and all of this type of stuff. Yeah. All this type of stuff. But anyway, pull this out right fast, y'all. Let me see here where we going. I've heard something that said that Adam was an androgynous female. Yeah. Adam was an androgynous female. I was like, whoa. I said, maybe I heard that wrong. Maybe I heard that wrong. Let me pull. So I had replayed that again. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, hold up. Now let's go here. Let's go to 26, because this is what they were reading. 26 is actually verse 28. But we in Bada Sheaf. This is my stone edition tonight. It says, and the Elohim said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. They shall, because notice it's saying they, y'all. They shall rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and over the animals, the whole earth, and every creeping thing that creep upon the earth. So the Elohim created man in his image, and the image of the Elohim he created him. Male and female he created them. And the Elohim blessed them and said to them, but let's stop at 27. See, that's what they was going with. So the Elohim created man in his image. In the image of the Elohim he created him. Male and female he created them. See that right there? This is where he starts saying that, and trying to point out, and says Adam, that when man was an androgynous female. Now, oh man, I remember that. Now that part right there, right? And most people say, well, see, he created man over there. But see, then you go jump into 22. I remember hearing this with Dr. York at the time. He said, well, see, you got chapter 1, that was one creation, and then you got verse 2 was another creation. That was a recreation when the earth was being replexed. They would talk about some of this big bang that happened and all of this type of stuff. But anyway, I remember some elders that was going into this. See, verse 26 and things of that nature is brief, right? It's kind of brief. It don't go into detail too much about man, how he was created and all of this, or even a woman, right? Now, I remember this is where I got some elders had broke down. I've heard some breakdown. And they were saying like 20, that's why when you go to verse 2, it's like it's retelling the story all over again. And somewhat is going into detail, right? It's going into detail more about man, about the creation of man and things of this nature, and the creation of woman. But when you seeing this part right here, it's just brief, because it's telling you about what happened on the first day of creation. When it says in the Most High, and I'm just going to read it as it is. And God created man in his image, and in the image God created he created him. And it says male and female he created them. See, if you don't really get no understanding, because see, even with that, like I said, if you don't, you might be saying some stuff like Adam was an androgynous woman. No, because woman was showing what woman was created in verse 2, and then he did create them. He did create them, male and female, right? If we want to throw that in there, it says male and female he created them. But anyway, I don't know, man. It's just some crazy stuff, man. Like I was telling another brother, one of the other Morays, I was saying, man, you know what? How they said, man, somebody got a gun or something, a deadly weapon. They tell them, put the gun down, put the knife down, and slowly step away. Some people need to
put the Bible down, put the Tanakh down, and slowly step away. Because y'all gonna hurt somebody, man. Y'all gonna hurt somebody with these doctrines y'all got out here, bro. Oh, some of these teachings y'all got. Woo wee. I'm glad I went through my stages of all of that foolishness. You know what I mean? I used to be in all of that crazy, these different crazy teachings and doctrines and information too. I promise y'all I did. I am so glad. I thank the Most High, yeah, for, and I thank him though, for even allowing me to go through those type of things, going through those, as they say, schools of thought, to learn a lot of that foolishness, because now I can see and I have a proper understanding. I was into Christianity. Ordained as a minister in Christianity. So when you Christians, you hear me talking about, because a lot of y'all have it, and this would kill me too about this stuff. When a person don't agree with you or say that, like I'm saying, the Zechariah, it ain't talking about Jesus or none of that. First thing, well, y'all unlearn. You unlearn. Was I unlearned when I got ordained as a Christian pastor? Was I not unlearned then? When I was a Christian pastor, when I was teaching Christianity, I was teaching Christianity. I used to teach Christianity. I used to teach that Jesus died for our sins. Was I not unlearned then? Oh, okay. Do I have to go and pull out my credentials and show you that when I was a Christian pastor, Christian minister? But was I unlearned then? See, that was y'all trip me out with that, man. Y'all be tripping me out with that. Y'all, they say you just unlearned because a person don't. I'm not unlearned, or anybody, not just me. I'm just not putting this on me. But we as Tanakh only, we understand what Torah or Tanakh says. That's why we don't accept it. We understand. See, a lot of you, especially we say we are Israel or whatever, and even if we're not, but we understand it Tanakh, because you have a lot of brothers and sisters who don't claim to be Israelites or even Jews or whatnot, and they understand and they study Tanakh and they understand, they follow it. But you have a lot of you who are so-called Gentiles. I'm gonna just use your outside nations, and you trying to tell somebody who's saying they are bloodline Jews or bloodline Israelites, and you trying to tell us about our tradition, what our ancestors, how they believe and what they follow, and how they were given inspiration from the Most High. And the Most High didn't talk to you and tell you nothing. He talked to our prophets, our forefathers, our ancestors, and told them and taught them now. But you gonna tell us that we wrong. Ain't that something? What they say, y'all? Ain't that something? All right, I'm gone, man. But you New Testament followers, brothers and sisters, man, y'all something else though. But it's that's why sometimes I just like, hey man, whoever like I said it, brothers, no disrespect. I go through some things with y'all, but when y'all keep on trying to convince, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna tell y'all now. I'm gonna walk through some scriptures with you a little bit, and we're gonna share a little bit. But you keep on. All I'm gonna say is, you know what? Whoever you say that is, fine. Cause I'm not gonna keep arguing with you. If you, especially with you telling me, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna keep going back and forward. If you ask me, well, who is this talking about? And if I show you, if I tell you, and you well, who is this talking about? First thing I'm gonna tell y'all though, I'll tell you Christians, if you give me anything out of that Tanakh, and you talking about who is this talking about, flatfoot automatically. I'm telling you, it ain't talking about him now. It ain't talking about your Jesus. It's not talking about your Yahshua, because none of that, nothing in the Tanakh is a prophecy of about a Jesus, Yahshua at all. No, not at all. He's not spoken of through the volume of the book. Now, maybe your so-called New Testament, he's spoken through the volume of the New Testament that y'all call the New Testament, but he ain't spoken through the volume of the Tanakh at all. When I'm talking about the Tanakh, is what y'all call Old Testament, Not at all. Not one iota. Not one letter. What does it say? Not one tittle. Not one jot or one tittle. Not at all. Shalom.